the truth beneath your lies. And true love never has to hide. True love never has to hide.
Okay, what's up guys? It's Tyree Jenkins and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a new segment that I am starting and it is called, drum roll please. Woo! It is called Tea Time with Ty. Now, Tea Time with Ty is my new segment that I am starting, and basically it is my story time segment. I wanted to give it a different name to stand out. So before I get into this video, please, if you haven't checked out my other videos, do that because that would be greatly appreciated. And also stop this video right now and give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, guys. And after you hit that subscribe button, guys, hit that bell button so that you are notified every time I post, and then we won't have any issues. So, today's Tea Time with Ty is going to be about the time that I dated a guy with the same name as me. Yes, y'all. I dated a guy with the same name as me, and yeah, it was definitely a learning experience. So, this story time takes place about a year and a half ago in Los Angeles, California. Now, I had just moved out there in October for my freshman year of college. I was going to a performing arts school out there, and you know, I was really excited. I was fresh meat in a new town, in a new city. I wanted to have fun. I wanted to venture out and do a lot of things. It was California, like there's so much to do. So, basically, I went to my school and I started making friends. I actually already had friends because, like, I had been added to this, like, freshman group chat that, you know, a couple students had put together. And, so I already kind of had friends. Like, we have been talking regularly, like, just all excited and anxious about our next chapter in our lives. So, basically, I already kind of had friends when I got there, and I made more friends. So, you know, the friends that I made when I got there, those were the friends that I really, like, stuck around with, you know, like, I hung out with them a lot. But, so those friends came, you know, after, like, the first 2 weeks of school, first 2 or 3 weeks of school, they were coming up to me telling me about this guy who had seen me, and, you know, he really wanted to talk to me and he was into me. The funny thing is, when they told me that, they were like, yeah, and guess what? He has the same name as you. And I was like, okay. So, I wasn't really sure how I felt about that, you know. I just didn't know how I felt about it. So, basically, you know, it was like 7 different people that came up to tell me about this guy, and they all were saying the same thing. They didn't really tell me much. They just told me that he had the same name as me, and that he was really trying to talk to me, and that he, you know, he was into me. And I was like, okay, well, y'all keep telling me this. I have yet to see this person. I have yet to hear from this person. If he really wanted to talk to me, we go to the same school. It's not that hard. So, one day I was like walking around with my friends, walking around Hollywood. You know, it was still the beginning of the semester, and we were all just trying to explore the city and, you know, find cool things to do. So we're walking, and I see, like, in the distance, like, I see another group of students that are, like, hanging out and, like, walking too. And so the way it was set up, like, we were walking this way and they were walking this way. And so we ended up, like, like, when we were walking and I saw that group, I was like, oh, look, there's, I named a couple people that I already knew. And my friend was like, "Big, there's the guy right there." And I was like, "Which one?" Because there was like 3 of them over there. So she was like, "The one with that specific jacket on." And I was like, "Oh, so that's who the other guy is." And I'm going to name him Thing 1 because, I mean, he has the same name as me, but I'm just going to name him Thing 1 because you'll understand why when the story progresses. So she was like, "There's Thing 1 right there." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So we ended up like meeting up with the group, and like I said, I knew a couple of people in the group, so I was like chatting with them, and Thing 1 was like standing to the side. He didn't really say anything to me. Like, I saw him like glance at me, but like he didn't say anything to me. So, after we got done talking to them, we ended up parting ways. So when we parted ways, I looked at my friend. I was like, "What? Why didn't Thing 1 say anything to me?" And she was like, "I don't know. I think he's like shy or something. I don't know." And I was like, "Okay, well, you know what? Dead mission. He just not about that life. He not trying to shoot his shot." So I moved on. So one day, one of my friends, he does a lot of stuff. Like, he like put together this jam session like the first couple of weeks of school where, a lot of the students could come and get to know each other and show off their talents and perform and things like that. So I was really interested in that because I wanted to see what everybody, how much talent there was around me. So, I go to the jam session. I wasn't planning on performing. I just wanted to go to see everyone and get social, be social for a second. And I went a little early before the thing started, and I saw that Thing 1 was in a dance room with his friends dancing. And like I said, I knew one of his friends. Did I? I think so. Yeah, I think I knew one of the friends because the first week of school, we had this little ice cream social party in a parking lot, and I was just dancing and having fun, and that's where I met a lot of people. And so I knew, I knew a couple people. So I knew one of his friends, so I went into the dance room, and they were trying to get me to dance, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not a dancer." But, I can do a 2-step, I can, So, there was a piano in the dance room, so I hopped on the piano, and I started, playing and singing, and so that was, the first time he said anything to me. He was like, "Oh, so you're going to perform at this jam session tonight. I think you should sing." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't plan on singing, I just didn't plan on it." And so I was like, and he was basically, really trying to convince me to go out there and perform. So I was like, "Well, how about this? If you perform, then I'll perform." And he was like, and I was like, "Well, there's your answer. If you perform, I'll perform." And so that was the end of the conversation. And then I think he might have said something else. I don't remember. Anyways, so the jam session was happening in the room next to us. So before it started, I went in there, and Alex, that was the guy who put it together. He asked me if I was going to perform, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll perform." So he actually wanted me to go first, and I was like, So, y'all don't even know, this tea is about to get scorching. It's chill right now, but just wait. Anyways, so, when I first saw Thing 1, I wasn't initially attracted to him. It wasn't something where I was like, "Oh my god, oh, this is gonna be my new baby daddy, he's so fine, and he into me too." No, it wasn't like that. It was more "Oh, okay, cool, we can definitely, see where things go. I'm not, I'm open to making new friends, like, and, it's a new city, so I don't know what could happen. So, I ended up, like, performing, and then, like, a couple people later, he performed, and he, like, did a dance routine with two of his friends, and, y'all, that is where my eyes became open. That is where I was just like, like, y'all, it was like, he can really dance. Like, I'm not no hating ass bitch. Like, even though we don't talk anymore, like, he can dance, y'all. Like, he was dancing. He was dancing. And I was just like, I was turned on by that. Like, you're talented. Like, what? You're talented. So, after I didn't stay through the whole thing, and, right before I was about to leave, he asked me, hey, do you want to get frozen yogurt later tonight? And I was like, okay, yeah, we can definitely do that. So we ended up, like, walking to a frozen yogurt place, and he ended up buying me frozen yogurt. So I guess I would consider it a first date, but I don't know. It was just frozen yogurt. But we did, like, talk and get to know each other, and I had a really good time. And so, like, later that night, we ended up walking back to my dorm room, and we, like, sat in the hallway of the dorm, and we just, like, talked. And, one of my neighbors came out, and she, like, talked with us, and then right before he was about to leave, like, we made out on the first date. And so I was just shook. Like, I was really shook. Like, he was really shy, but he was not afraid to make a move. Like, I was shook. So basically, after that, we started, like, talking and texting, and, I was still entertaining other guys because I didn't want to get to LA and just hop right into a relationship, and I didn't want to, like, be held down. Like, I wanted to still have fun. I wanted to go out. I didn't want to have to answer to anyone or anything like that. So, of course, like, I didn't just hop right into a relationship. Even though, like, he, in the beginning, like, he wanted to, like, date me. So I was like, no, let's just slow it down. Let's get to know each other a lot more and, see where things go. Yeah, so, in the beginning, like, when we were talking, it was, I don't think, I take partial credit for, the beginning, because I was still entertaining other guys, and he didn't really like that. Like, he wanted me to just be his, and like I said, I wasn't really trying to, like, it wasn't like I was just going around hooking up with every guy, but I was still talking to other guys and, like, hanging out with people. So, he didn't really like that. It didn't sit well with him. And so around, like, I want to say November, December, like, around Christmas break, I, like, stopped talking to the other guys that I was talking to, and I was mainly focused on him. And mind you, school started in October, and, like, so it was, like, a good 4 weeks where I was, like, just talking to people. And so, like, around Christmas break, that's when I officially, was exclusively talking to him. Like, I wasn't really talking to anyone else. I had cut everyone else off, and I was trying to see where things were going, because I was like, okay, like, he's into me, I'm kind of starting to like him, like, let's see where things go. So basically, over Christmas break, I went home, and that's where we really started talking heavy. Like, we were FaceTiming every day, every night, falling asleep on the phone, all that cute stuff we were doing. And I was just, like, in my head, I'm like, okay, why we weren't doing this at school? Like, this is really cute. Like, I'm getting all the attention I wanted. Like, and so basically after that, he ended up, like, buying me a Christmas present. Yeah, he ended up buying me a Christmas present, and it was, like, a jacket and a hat. And he gave me these presents after we got back from break. So we got back to school, and that's what he had got me. And mind you, he bought these gifts before we started dating. We started dating January 1st, 2017. And let me tell y'all. So, I got home and it was New Year's Eve and I was hanging out with my friends. You know, we were about to, one of my friends was throwing a New Year's party. So, we were getting ready for that. And I was telling them about California and how much fun I was having. And, I was telling them about thing one. And I was like, just explaining everything that I'm explaining to y'all. And they were like, oh, like, you finna have you a new daddy. And I was like, y'all, like, somebody finna cuff me, like, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, I don't know, though, like, I'm nervous. I haven't been in a relationship in a minute. I don't know. So they basically convinced me that you do like him. They just cleared my eyes. They were like, you do like him, like, you need to date him, you need to, and I was like, okay. So they actually told me, they were like, ask him out. And I was like, y'all, I've never done that. Like, I've never asked a guy out, like, So, basically, we got to the party, and we were dancing or whatever, we had fun, and it hit midnight, and we celebrated, and then a couple minutes after midnight, I called him, and I just asked him out. I asked him if he wanted to be my boyfriend, and at first he thought it was a joke. Like, he was like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah, why would I be lying about this? Like, will you be my boyfriend? And he said yes. And so I was really happy. Like, I was excited. And, like, we ended up getting off the phone. And I went and turned up some more because I was like, oh, I'm cuffed now. Like, I got a man. Like, I was just happy. So, going into 2017, lit. So, basically, that's when we started dating. But I was at home and he was at home, so we didn't get to see each other when we first started dating. So then we got back to school, and it was still kind of shaky because he was a dance major and I was a musical theater major, so our schedules didn't really line up to see each other a lot. It was like he would be, excuse me. He would be in class and I would have a break, or I would be in class and he would have a break. Or, we would be out of class and he would have rehearsal because he was just that good. He was just that good of a dancer. So, he was already, like, doing rehearsing and stuff like that for something. And so we didn't really get to see each other that much except for, like, at night, or if we were, like, seeing each other in the hallway for a quick second. And that didn't really sit well with me or him either. And that's where the rough patch starts to begin. Mind you, like, we had just started dating January 1st, and it was still January when we got back to school. So your first month of dating is really supposed to be like the honeymoon stage, like y'all all cute and together. And so when it's like y'all can't see each other and, it just didn't work. It just didn't work. So, it got to the point where I would ask him to hang out, and it was just like, it felt like he didn't want to hang out. Like, he had more important things to do with his friends. Like, I would ask him to hang out, he'd be like, no, I would ask him, what is he doing today? He'd be like, nothing. Why? And I'd be like, oh, do you want to go see a movie, or do you want to hang out? And he would be like, oh, no, actually, I think I'm going to go hang out with Kayla and my friend. And I'm like, okay, why would you give me one name but not the other? Who's your friend? Like, who is that? 1 second. So, basically, like, it got to the point where we just weren't hanging out. Like, we had went on, like, 2 dates after we got back to school, and then, like, we weren't really hanging out that much. Like I said, we would see each other sometimes at night if he wasn't tired from rehearsal. So, it just got to the point where I was like, it was just the way he would say things, like, towards me. I would just be like, I'm not getting that vibe that I was getting when we were just talking. Like, it was like he was annoyed or something like that. And I was like, okay, like, if you're annoyed, like, we don't have to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, so one day I asked him to hang out, and I forgot what he said. He said something, like, real smart. And, like, mind you, my friend was, like, in my room, and I was like, hold on, watch this. I knew it was going to be something. So I call him. I'm like, I asked him to hang out, and, like, he had an attitude when he answered the phone. And I'm like, and my friend's sitting right here, like, listening to the whole thing. And I'm like, do you want to hang out? And he's like, he said something. I cannot remember. And I just was like, okay. Like, I took a step back, and I was like, wow, like, I'm just not feeling the same anymore. And so I, like, called him back, and I was like, look, I don't think we can do this anymore. And I broke up with him. And y'all, it really hurt me to break up with him. One, I had never broken up with anyone before. Like, my first relationship, I had got dumped. So I was really, like, hurt to break up with him because, one, I was actually starting to like him. And you know it's genuine when you don't really initially like someone at first, but you start to grow to like them and learn their personality and, you know, all that stuff. So it was really genuine when I started to like him. And it was just like, it just really hurt because I actually started liking him a lot. So, and we only had dated for a month. So I had broke up with him like January 29th or something like that. And so even though we dated for a month, like, we have been talking since the end of October. So that's like 4 months, you know? I started to like him a lot, and it just hurt to break up with him. Like, in class, I was distracted because I kept thinking about him. Even though I was the one to break up with him, like, I just couldn't stop thinking about him. Like, I was just sad and just moping around. Like, I just remember it like it was yesterday, like, just how sad I was and how I was just moping around. And so basically we stopped talking, and I would try, you know, to talk to him sometimes. Like, we would text sometimes because I still wanted to, like, get back with him. I just think we needed time or space, or I don't know what it was. I just felt like that it wasn't right yet. You know, we didn't have time, so I just ended it. And so we ended the semester in February. Our semesters ended in February, and we had like a week break, and then we came back mid-February for second semester. And when we came back, there was incoming freshmen, and my friend, she introduced me to some people, some incoming freshmen that had just moved into her dorm hall. And, you know, I hit it off with them really quickly, like, we became friends, blah, 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 and that's when she introduced me to this guy. His name is gonna be Thing 2. Thing 2 also had the same name as me. Well, it was very similar. It was low-key the same. There was just like a prefix in front of his Tyree. So, you know, I was just like mind blown. I had met 2 Tyrees at the same school, and I was just shook. So, you know, Thing 2, he was just, initially when I saw him, I was like, oh, he's fine, like, okay. But I wasn't like, I wasn't interested in him. Like, I had just broken up, you know, with my ex, and I wasn't really, you know, I was just chilling. And my friend, I'm gonna give her a name. I'm gonna name her Motor. And so she was telling me that she liked Thing 2, and that she wanted to talk to him, and they had been Snapchatting. And so I was like, oh, okay, like, that's cool or whatever. And there was a couple times that I went over there, and they were hanging out, and I was starting to get a vibe from him. Like, he would just, like, stare at me, or he would like say something like slick, and I would catch it. I don't think anyone else would catch it, but I would catch it. And so, you know, one day I went over there and we were studying for a test, you know, college things. And so, yeah, when we were studying, thing 2 came, and he wasn't in that class, but he decided he wanted to help us study. So we're sitting at a table and we're all studying, and he's mainly focused on me. Thing 2 is mainly focused on me, like he's helping me study, like not really worried about anybody else. And I didn't think much of it until later that night when we were leaving, and my friend was like, was it me, or was he just mainly focused on you? And so when I noticed that she noticed, I was like, okay, maybe it is something. And while we were studying, I like was Snapchatting me and Motor, and he wanted to get in the Snap, so he was like, put me in the Snap, and I was like, okay. So once I put him in the Snap, he's like, well, now that I'm on the Snap, like, I gotta add you. And so he ended up adding me, and when we left, like, you know, me and Motor had that conversation, and then so like the next morning, I like woke up, and I didn't want to seem like a bad friend because, like I said, Motor had just expressed to me how she liked him and she was attracted to him and she wanted to talk to him and things like that. So I didn't want her to like follow this guy blindly and knowing what I knew. So it's getting hot, y'all. It's getting hot. And so I ended up telling her, I was like, look, I have something to tell you, but you have to promise to me. Promise. Pinky promise. We even pinky promised that you cannot tell anyone what I'm about to tell you. I'm telling you this because I'm trying to be a good friend, and I don't want you to get yourself into something that you're not gonna like. And she was like, okay, like what? What is so serious? Like what could it be? And it was I told her, I said, look, and I also told her, I was like, you cannot tell this one specific person because this one specific person is friends with my ex, thing 1. And I knew that if I didn't tell her not to tell this one specific person, she probably would, because they came from the same high school and they knew each other longer than I knew her. So I told her, I was like, look, you cannot tell anybody, but specifically not this one person, because I know they're going to run back and tell thing 1, and I'm still low-key trying to work on things with him. So I ended up telling her, and her jaw drops, and she's just in awe, like, and y'all, immediately, I kid you not, she picked up her phone and called her mom. She called her mom and told her what I just told her. After I just told her, do not tell anybody. That includes your mother. That includes your mother. So she told her mom right in front of me. So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, okay, well, it's just her mom. Like, her mom don't know us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So, which I really should have took that as sign number 1. So basically, I ended up telling her, and she called her mom and told her mom, and I find out, like, later that she went and told other people. And it wasn't just, like, 1 or 2 people. It was, like, 3, 4, 5 people. So I'm like, wow. So we ended up falling out. Like, I didn't really want to talk to her. Like, I felt like I couldn't trust her. And it was just a lot of mess. Like, it was a lot of mess. Like, I was just so mad because I was like, why would she do that when I asked her not to? You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like a, you know, I wasn't mad because it, you know, I was just mad because I asked her not to. That was what I was upset about. And I specifically told her who she couldn't tell, which is everybody. And then I said specifically this person. Tell me why that specific person knew. One day in class, she's like, oh, I think I had like a hickey on my neck. And she's like, oh, who's been sucking on your neck? And I was like, bitch, this is a burn mark. I said, bitch, this is a burn mark. What are you talking about? She's like, I already know who was sucking on your neck. And I was like, who? She was like, I don't know. You tell me. And I was like, you just said you knew. And so she was like, I'm going to say 3 names, and I think one of them is going to be it. And so she named 3 people. So thing 2 was on that list. And I was like, Motor told you? And she was like, and I was like, y'all, I wanted to go off on Motor so bad. Like, I wanted to go off on her so bad because I was like, I specifically told you not to tell this person, and you still told them. So, me and Motor had to sit down because I wanted to, you know, we're adults. We need to talk this out, and, you know, because I met her day 1 of college. Like, day 1, that's not A1 day 1, and I didn't want to, like, lose her as a friend. Like, it wasn't really, her going and telling people, it didn't ruin my life. Like, it wasn't my secret, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was thing 2 because he wasn't out. So I wanted to like talk to her and like see why she was going around telling people and stuff like that. So she's like, she basically thought that she had the right to because it was her business. And I was like, no, honey, this isn't your business. Like, I only told you to not because so that you didn't think that I was being a grimy friend. Like, you had told me that you liked this guy, but he was clearly more interested in me. That's why I was telling you. I didn't tell you because it was your business. No, that wasn't, no. It had nothing to do with you. It wasn't, y'all weren't dating. Y'all weren't talking. Like, y'all may have Snapchat a couple times, but y'all weren't talking. So I was like, that wasn't your place to go and tell people. So basically, we ended up talking it out, and we're good now. Like, that situation is clearly, like, behind us. Like, we ended up talking it out, and we told each other how we felt, and, you know, that was, like, when I really felt like I was being an adult. Like, we got through it without the mess. Like, we didn't have to curse each other out and, you know, do all the social media shading and all this stuff. Like, we sat down and had a conversation about our differences, and we solved it, and it was done. Like, you know, I did have that guard up, though, because I was like, okay, I can't tell Motor everything because I don't know how she's going to take it and if she's going to go and run with it. Hence the name Motor. So, basically, so thing 2, like, started getting this vibe that, you know, people knew what we were doing and things like that. So, he, like, came up to me and asked me, like, have you been telling people? And I was like, first of all, what are you talking about? He's like, I just have a feeling that Motor knows. And I was like, I haven't told her anything, but I think she suspects you. And, you know, he was like, oh, okay, like, whatever. And like, after that, like, I wasn't really feeling it anymore, so I stopped, like, talking to him, and I called him, and I, like, cut him off. I was like, look, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't feel right, like, because I wanted somebody who I could be open with, and, you know, we could go out and do things, and it wasn't just, like, a dirty little secret. So I was really over that, and so basically 2 days after, it was either, like, 2 or 3 days after I, like, stopped talking to him, he went and got a girlfriend, and the girlfriend lived in my dorm hall. She lived under me, and, well, not under me, but on the first floor, and we had similarities. Like, she was light-skinned with pretty eyes, I'm light-skinned with pretty eyes, so I was like, okay, that was kind of creepy. I was like, Like, a week or 2 later, he ended up texting me and was like, look, I miss you, I miss our conversations, like, I miss our vibe, you know, I just want to chill, like, let's hang out. So I was like, why are you on my line? Like, you have a whole girlfriend. Like, what is the deal? Go worry about your girlfriend. So, you know, we had a class together. So he, like, when I was basically telling him that, we saw each other in class, and he told me, he was like, why can't we be friends? And I was like, okay, whatever. We can be friends. I'm not finna, you know, prolong this and make it anything it's not. So, you know, we hung out, and he started to, like, make a move on me, and I'm like, you have a girlfriend. And so, you know, like, we ended up, like, making out, I think, and I went back and told my friends. Not friends, plural, but, like, my neighbor, we were really close to. I'm gonna give her a name. What's her name? I'm gonna call her Backwoods, because all she smokes is Backwoods. So, Backwoods, I went and told Backwoods because we were really close to, and I was just trying to get her opinion, because I was like, I don't know how to feel. Like, I am attracted to Thing 2, but he has a girlfriend, and it just doesn't feel right. Like, I'm not that type of person. So she was like, bitch, this is not your problem. That is not your issue. When he get caught up, it's gonna be his fault. She was like, you're young, have your fun. Like, they're not married. And I was like, but they're dating, like, exclusively. Like, they're dating. People know they're dating. Like, she was like, well, I gave you my opinion. Now you choose what you want to do with it. So I was like, okay. So I just, you know, had my fun. And I started to feel bad because, like I said, like, she was really beautiful. His girlfriend was beautiful. Like, she was so nice. And to know that I knew that he was dogging her, basically, with me, like, it just wasn't sitting right in my stomach. Like, it just wasn't. And, like, he started coming up to me and saying, like, you know, things about how he thought I was going and telling people about what we were doing, and how he thought I was outing him. And I was like, first of all, don't come at me about trust, or come at me sideways about anything, because one, you're lying to your whole girlfriend. Like, you have a whole girlfriend and you're lying to her. So anything you say to me is inadmissible. Like, I don't believe it. Like, it's just, it doesn't matter, because this is just, it's nothing more than what it is. Like, you're lying to your whole girlfriend. How do I know that you're not lying to me? How do I know that everything you say to me is not bullshit? So, you know, I was just like, no. Like, don't come at me like that. Like, so, basically, yeah, so we, you know, we still ended up, like, having fun or whatever, and I think towards the end of the year, I, like, stopped messing with him like that. But, you know, I don't know, I was still attracted to him. So, when I went home for summer break, he was planning on going, Thing 2 was planning on going back to school for the summer semester. So, he came home too. And mind you, we came from Atlanta together. Not together, but we were both from Atlanta. Like, our homes were in Atlanta. So, I came home, and then he came home, but he only had 3 weeks. So, he wanted to hang out when we came home. And he wanted to, like, show me where he turns up and stuff like that. But, like, I think something happened where I couldn't go out. And so he ended up just coming to my neighborhood. And we, like, chilled outside in his car. And we ended up, like, hooking up in his car. And the next day, I get a text message from him saying, like, oh, we can't do this anymore. Like, I have a girlfriend. And it just doesn't feel right. Like, I can't keep doing this to her. And I'm like, okay, like, I understand, like, you can't keep, you know what I'm saying, like, that's your girlfriend and you can't do this stuff. But you should have thought about that when you first started doing it, number one. Number two, if you felt that way, you shouldn't have come to my neighborhood, because I felt like you knew you were coming for what you were coming for what we ended up doing. We shouldn't have done what we did last night if you felt that way, because you didn't just wake up and feel this way. Like, you've been feeling this way. So you came and you tried to play me, basically. Like, oh, let me get this last little hookup out of you, and then we stopping. Like, no, if that's how you felt, one, you should have communicated with me, like, look, like, you know what I'm saying? And he gonna tell me, like, I tried to tell you last night. I was like, no, you didn't. How you try to tell somebody something? You either told them or you didn't. Like, that didn't make sense to me. So after that, that's when I really cut him off. Like, I was like, nigga, you just tried to play me, and you cannot play a player. Like, you can't do that. So now I'm about to play your ass. So I had him thinking that I was finna DM his girlfriend on Instagram and tell her everything we've been doing, which I wasn't going to do because I'm not that type of person. Like, I left it alone. Like, I just wanted him to, I just wanted to push his buttons a little bit. So I was having him like, oh shoot, my little mixer fell on the tea. So I had him like thinking like, I'm finna tell all your business. Like, you really tried to play me. And so, after that, he like, y'all, I started hanging up in his face. He was calling me back to back like, Tyree, don't do this, like, blah, blah, blah. I still like you, like, we can be friends. Like, no, it's beyond that point. Like, we're not anything. Like, you really tried to play me, and now we're done. Like, this is over. Finito. So, basically, I ended up calling Motor and telling her everything that happened. She was like, no, you really should tell his girlfriend because, like, I was like, no, I'm not getting involved in that because that's just drama. I'm not with the drama. Like, she gonna find out on her own and she gonna learn her lesson. I'm not the one. I don't want to be the one to tell her. Let me know in the comments if y'all think I should have told her because I felt like I shouldn't have. Because once she was gonna be like, because if somebody came and told me that they were, sleeping with my boyfriend or my boyfriend was trying to get with them or something like that, especially like if I was a girl and they said, and it was a guy, like I would have been ready to fight. Like I would have been like, bitch, first of all, you knew we were dating. Two, like, stop this video right now, y'all, and let me know how much of a home-wrecking whore I was because I really was. I really was like, well, I don't think I wrecked their home because, like I said, I don't think to this day she knows. Or maybe she does. I don't know. Well, I didn't tell her. If she does know, I didn't tell her. And, she never came at me about it. So I don't think, because they're not together now, so I don't think that's, if they broke up, like, that's the reason why. So technically I'm not a homewrecker, but I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. So basically, after that, like, he ended up, like, calling me, like, further into the summer and was, like, basically telling me that they had broken up, and I laughed. I was like, and he got mad that I laughed. He was like, wow, so you praying on my downfall? I was like, no, it's just really funny because I knew it was going to happen, like, and he was like, what do you mean you knew? And I was like, you knew that I knew it was going to, you knew, and I knew that y'all was not finna stay together because I know what you like. And it ain't that. So, basically, that is the time that I dated a guy with the same name as me. And I also talked to a guy with the same name as me. Y'all, I think I learned my lesson. I don't know yet because I know another person with the same name as me, and they are fine. They are so fine, y'all. Like, why everybody with the same name as me gotta be fine? Like, Tyree just fine. Tyree, the name. If your name is Tyree, you most likely fine. Like, you most likely daddy. Like, I think it's just the name. It comes with the territory. But anyways, guys, that is my scorching hot tea. It wasn't really scorching, I don't think. Maybe it is. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. And also, let me know if y'all thought it was wrong of me to continue to talk to him knowing he had a girlfriend. Because deep down, I knew it was wrong. I knew it was wrong. Oh, before I even... Dang, I forgot the specific part. So... I have to rewind. Thing 1 ended up finding out about Thing 2 and me and Thing 2, like what we were doing, and that's because Motor went and told the girl I told her not to tell, and so he found out and he was like telling me like, oh, we're done, like we're not getting back together, like you can do you, like it's just not meant, you out here doing your own thing. So I was really upset, like I was just upset. I was upset, but you know, I don't know. I don't know. But that wraps up this tea time with Ty. I have so many more tea times, but you know, I'm just really skeptical about telling them because I don't want it to seem like I'm trying to start drama, but it's just, this is what happened in my life, you know? It's just what happened. Like, I resolved the situations with most of the people that, you know, I'm talking about. But, you know how people take things and they twist them and things can be misconstrued. So, if you like Tea Time with Ty, please hit that subscribe button and also give this video a big thumbs up. It means so much to me. And let me know if I should keep doing Tea Time with Ty because I'm kind of liking this segment. Kind of liking it. Getting my tea. Sipping the tea. Spilling the tea. Just a lot of tea. So, thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll see you guys next time for another video.